Yeah, A and B. I am hip hop. Yes, sir. I am hip hop. I am hip hop. Yo, I am hip hop. For the children, I am hip hop. For my brothers, I am hip hop. For the sisters, I am hip hop. For the parents, I am hip hop. Yo, I am hip hop. For the children, I am hip hop. For the brothers, I am hip hop. For the sisters, I am. I am hip hop. Ghetto in a pit stop. Hot, walking around trying to ditch cops. I am not afraid, I'm guarded, I don't get shot.
Peace and beyond.
Peace and beyond. Peace and beyond.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the BEYONDERZ Building Podcast, brought to you by the Hip Hop BEYONDERZ movement. You know, we're here to talk to y'all about some real hip hop. By the way, we're launching on May 3rd, which is Rap Music Day. Yes, Rap Music Day is a holiday for the hip hop nation on May 3rd. Next week being Hip Hop Appreciation. I think it's next week. Yep, next week is Hip Hop Appreciation Week. Am I right or wrong? That comes on May
third week in May, so that's the week after next.
Okay, it's the week after next, which will be launched on May 19th, which is the birthday of one of our prophets and our ancestors, Malcolm X, Brother Omar Wali, El Hajj Malik Shabazz. So today we're going to build on what else? Rap. Since it's Rap Music Day.
Right. So you know, with me, I always gonna how do we really feel about rap?
How do I feel about rap? How do we feel about rap?
Because to be honest with you, I'm not even trying to go in and start, start talking about who's the first rapper that we start talking about our favorite rappers, whatever. Like, yeah, those topics, that's everyday topics for us. But when we start looking at it like we have an actual rap day to celebrate, sometimes I sit back like, how we really feel about rap, man? I mean, what it is, that's what I'm on. Like, how we really feel about it. I mean, do we have to get our definitions right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I always look at a rapper. Actually, rap is dope. Not every artist, hip hop artist, is a rapper. You know, a lyricist has his own category. You know what I'm saying? An MC, that's a whole different task. But when you say a rapper or somebody that raps, that is a different element on the set. Not everybody's a rapper. Not everybody can rap. You know what I mean? And rap is something different. It's not just you're gonna throw some lyricists out there and you'll pick some rapper, you want to make the comparison. Sometimes it's just, that's not the flavor. Rap is different, you know what I'm saying? You know that, if you look in the old terminology, you will see that, you know, the old cats used to, a rap is like a kind of a talk, like, and that only involves certain people of a certain caliber. Like, street cats would be like, let me rap a little taste on that. You know, let me rap to you real quick. And that involves a certain kind of slang. Like, if you're not from the block, you're not from these neighborhoods, you know what I mean? You talking the regular language. You from around these neighborhoods, you rapping. You know what I mean? Certain codes are involved when you rapping. You can't just be a lyrical dude with mad vocabulary, very crafted. You know what I mean? A hell of a wordsmith. But the language you're using, it's not off the codes that's out there. Like, rap is a little different, you know what I mean?
Well, we got to remember, rap also, there's a reason why rap is be called rap music. Right. That's the musical aspect. Rap is really, literally, a kind of style of speaking for African Americans especially. And originally, when someone said, do you have rap? They were asking if you had any game. Could you talk to
Right.
the ladies? Or no? Or could you make that sale, make that hustle sale? Or could you, it's your style of speaking. And a lot of times we talk in rhyme, just like I just did. And so, it's kind of a part of our culture. But then the music part started coming in. I guess you can give credit because there is no first rapper. I guess you can give credit to people like DJ Hollywood, Coppola Rock, and Frankie Crocker, who didn't like rap music. I mean, peace be upon him. But but you really are not going to find the first rapper. I remember back in the days they used to say Grandmaster Caz was the first rapper. I said no, Grandmaster Caz was the first favorite rapper.
I guess it's more like, let's say, if you want to find the first singer.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, if I look at it like, as when we're talking about hip hop as the culture, you will see I got joints from James Brown, like 1956. Yeah, I think Da Dude, like Da Dude. So it didn't sing on that. He actually did the rhyme.
Yep.
You know,
he had a couple of
rap
songs
song.
like that.
You know what I mean? Straight up rap. But here's the thing. When we're talking in hip hop, the music, Isaac Hayes was rapping. If I look, I think Jimi Hendrix was more of a rapper than Nelly.
Let's see. Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hands? Yeah. I'm going to shoot down my old lady. I caught her messing with another man.
Yeah, but at least that one is singing a little bit. But if you catch Jimi Hendrix, a lot of the time he wasn't much of a singer. A lot of the time he just doing the talking and the end of his singing. Nelly actually carries the melody all the way through. So yeah, Jimi Hendrix probably was rapping more than some of these rappers that's a lot more melodic nowadays. You know what I'm saying? We can say that, but everybody was doing it with singers until DJ Hollywood, him being the DJ doing it. It's probably the first DJ that we remember doing it. So that's why we might look at him like, oh, that's the first rapper, like a hip hop rapper. Because they started doing rap music. People was rapping, but that was just a full band that do a little rhyme here. But also more like, okay, now he's rapping while he's DJing. So that give it a different twist. Because this is a DJ that's doing it. This is not.
And he's also rapping over the music that he's putting out there.
Yeah.
Shout out to DJ Hollywood, godfather of hip hop, another godfather of hip hop.
Yeah, and I say godfather of rap music. Like,
that's they call him that too. I'm saying hip hop as the culture, but yeah, that's fair.
And there was fun loving back in the day. You know what I mean? There was Rudy Ray Moore. You put him out there. Pigment.
And if you've seen the Dolomite movie, that I gotta read the book, but if you've seen the Dolomite movie with Eddie Murphy, there was an interesting point that was made in that movie, and it showed you how Rudy Ray Moore was born into becoming a rap performer, or I guess they called it kind of street poetry or party record performer.
Right.
He saw, I can't remember the guy's name. He saw a dude who used to come to the record shop they used to work at. And he was always talking in rhyme. He decided to talk to this dude. He said, "Where do you get those rhymes from?" I said, "I'll make them in my head." And he took him to an alley where all these OGs of the time used to hang out. And it was an old club where people like Billie Holiday, Duke Ellington used to perform at, but they still hung out. You know how it is in the hood. They still hang out at those vacant places that don't exist anymore, but they're still out there doing their thing in the alleyways and all that. And everyone there was rapping like this dude that came into the record store. And so he started recording them. and then taking their rhymes and performing them. Sounds familiar? Okay. That's what I'm saying. That shows you the cultural aspect predating hip hop. And then you go into people like Pigmeat Marham, Here Comes the Judge, classic comedy record. That's I'm sorry. I keep on saying comedy record, party record.
Party records, yeah.
If y'all remember the party records, we're Generation Next. We were little kids. We were the little kids that were sneaking out, listening. We were supposed to be in bed.
I was
They coming. They say, "Go back to bed. Rush back in bed. Put your covers back on."
My folks from Congo and Africa, they really have that at home.
They didn't have the party. Well, listen, man. The party records, man.
My pops had James Brown records, but like the party records, I didn't see that collection at home.
Yeah, the party records. At one time, you can only get them through black market, and you had to know people,
which is dope.
Yeah, you can only get it through there. And Saturday nights, they'll invite people over. They'll have their drinks or whatever, roll their spliffs or whatever, and they'll listen to like Richard Pryor, Red Fox, LaWanda Page, Mantan Moreland, Pigmeat Marham, and they used to rap on these records while telling comedy. A lot of the classic Richard Pryor records, like That Nigga Crazy, that was a party record. Okay, and I don't remember him rapping on it, but you know, they give him credit as being an instrumental in inspiring hip hop to come to be. Red Fox used to rap a little bit. LaWanda Page used to rap all the time. Aunt Esther, she used to rap all the time.
You know what? Actually, Aunt Esther was Here Comes the Judge, the lady that orders the beer, I think.
Oh yeah, I want 6 packs of beer.
Yeah, I think that's Aunt Esther.
That might have been because they used to all kind of combine together.
Yeah, I think she did that one.
Yeah.
And you know, Muhammad Ali got a record out too.
He got a record. He's also a known rapper.
I heard that one.
I think I might have it over here somewhere.
Yeah, that's like. So that's just the history of rap, right? And we already understand when you're talking about rap, that's coming from some fly people. You know, you had to be a certain level of, you know, a certain level of style to it. That's where that's coming from. Right. And eventually, when we got rap music now, the music, you know, we're applying the rap into the music now. That don't mean it loses its edge. It has to be dope. So you got to represent that rapper. You got to be fly and all that when you're coming in with it, because it's rap music. You know what I mean? So it's don't be feel a certain way if it's the pimps and the hustlers that actually master the art of fly talk in the streets.
Well, they were the original masters of that art.
Yeah. So
you can't take that away.
So if you see a little pimp, and you know, everybody got a little pimp in them, a little bit of gangster edge to us.
Ice-T said that his inspiration came from the pimps and the players.
Right.
That's where he learned how to rap.
Talking that game.
Yeah. Because the little poetry they were writing before they kicked that game to the ladies when they're out there macking.
Right.
And he said that's where I got it from. I got it from the pimps.
Rap.
Yeah, of course. They were out there, you know, shout out to them for kicking that game, kicking that creativity.
We just had to, you know, you learn what you need to learn out of it, you know, then you adjust eventually.
Yeah.
You know?
They were the originals. They were just doing it to be doing it, though. They were just doing it to look fly, like you just said.
Oh, yeah. Still like doing it.
Yeah.
Now today, there's a lot of artists that I look at as rappers. You know what I mean? Like,
you mean the rappers separate from being an MC? Like, MCs over here, rappers over there?
Yeah, MCs like, those that I look at as MCs, that's one, you know, that's one task as an MC. Actually, as an MC, it's like you're not an MC till hip hop. You know what I mean? If you're a hip hop head, then you can be the MC. Because that comes with I would say, that's the lineage of those that took heed to what the Zulu Nation would try to do with Africa Bambaataa. Like, yo, this is a movement. Let's have an institution around this. So now we've got to have structure. So that's when the name hip hop comes in, and the person that does it has to represent the culture. You can't just be out there be like, okay, I'm just gonna be however I want to be. Nah, you got a whole culture you got to represent. Now, if you're gonna get up there, you have to. There is a certain way you got to present yourself now. There's a certain things you got to restrain yourself from doing. Certain things you got, like you got some responsibility. You're an MC. You know what I'm saying? But a rapper, he just part of the culture when it comes to that. So a rapper, he's cool. If he let's say he in the street, if he drug dealer, he got no problem spit drug dealer rhyme. But as an MC, you're gonna have to tell all the stories. If you're gonna talk about drug dealing, you gotta talk about the consequence of drug addiction. You gotta talk about the plot. Who's really behind this old drug game we're about to talk about? As an MC, you got a responsibility to cover all that. But a rapper can just be like, I'm just one cold dude from the streets and just go in. That's rapping. So sometimes it's fly because, okay, he can play the villain. We as people, we have to choose, okay, we're going to play this record right here. It's fun, but we're going to make sure we play that record over there too to balance it out. So when
Harris1, he made a good point.
So that's an MC right there.
Yeah, I think he said it in the Gospel of Hip Hop. He said, an MC speaks for the community, speaks for the people. When a rapper speaks for himself.
That's boom, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said something like to that effect.
And the thing is, you can't really tell a rapper to be like, stop talking for yourself. You got to talk for the community. That's an MC's job.
Right.
So we got to regulate that. Okay, the rapper's going to be here talking about themselves. Well, we need somebody to balance that out. So we got to put this out. So MCs are actually, if we want to talk about like the music industry that's representing our culture, I think the MCs has to be the one spearheading what record should be playing or not. Because as an MC will play everything. But it's just the problem when it becomes like, okay, that one looks like everybody want to hear that record. Let's play that and stop pushing what people wants to hear instead of what people needs to hear. People needs to hear the whole truth, not just that one side of the truth that somebody try to push because it seems there's money over there.
Here's what he said. It's in the Gospel of Hip Hop under the MC element. The MC expresses through rhyme what is already on your mind, whereas the rapper tells you about his or herself. True hip-hoppers are encouraged to study both styles for maximum success. And early on, he stated, the MC is a hip-hop poet who directs and moves the crowd by rhythmically rhyming in spoken word. The MC is a cultural spokesperson. Technically, the MC is a creation of one's community, whereas the rapper is a creation of corporate interests.
It becomes there, if I want to say. It becomes the interest of the corporation.
Well, yeah, but once because remember, a lot of people became rappers just to make money. They didn't become rappers because they were into the art. They sound like they said, I just want to write a rhyme because I feel like it. They said, I'm going to write a rhyme so I want to sell some records.
But then again, do you know that some people might decide to rap for money? But prior to that engagement, prior to that, taking like a rap as a profession, I want to be a rapper. Prior to that, if there was already from that culture of being fly, talks fly, You know what I'm saying? Smooth with the talk, mad game and all that. Before they even start rapping, there was already that. I give an example. One person I looked at like that is Jim Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Before he was rapping, he was already Jim Jones. You know what I mean?
Well,
I feel like, you know, he was, as a character, he was more of a rapper than some people that's trying to rap. He was already that character. He spoke like one. His whole drip is like, you know, he got that style with him. He talks like it. So it's like one of the non-rapper with the dopest rap album. I heard his first album. I was like, yo, I like that.
You know, I never heard Jimmy's first album. I never heard his first album. I heard a couple of songs. I never heard his first album, though.
I forgot the name of the album, but I know he had that Joe Pete Rock produced G's Up, Hoes Down.
Yeah, I heard that with Max B. Yeah, of course I heard that.
Yeah, Swim, she gonna drown, something like that.
G's up, Hoes down. If the bitch can't swim, she's gonna drown.
Yeah, something like that. And I heard that joint. I remember listening to that. I was like, yo, I like it. But I never looked at him as a rapper. But he actually covers all that ground. Like, yeah, some rappers actually lack that edge. It's just like if I look at Group Home, it's like nobody was saying like, oh, Group, oh, they're just as dope as so and so. But yo, like, as far as hip hop, they just had a hip hop album that was dope. It was hip hop, but we never really looked at it.
That was a classic album.
Classic album, but we never looked at it like
Group Home album, man.
Yeah, but we didn't look at them like, oh, those are the dopest MCs, lyricists, whatever. We didn't look at all. Like, it was a hip hop joint that they put out there that was so
the production, and I thought Lil Dap. I mean, it was that style they had. Like,
just
hard to explain. It was just like, it was crazy.
Everything about him, just like just the presence on the record and all that. It was just hip hop.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
It was
a hip hop vibe.
We didn't even care like, oh, he can rhyme or he dope. He's an ill lyricist. That wasn't even the topic. The topic was, yo, this is dope right here.
I felt the same way about Blase. When the East is in the house. Oh my God, yeah. Danger. That was just.
You know, that was the time when hip hop was hip hop.
Yeah.
To the point that
still hip hop. Yeah.
Everybody, like right now, we can see a lot of people with chase like clout and all that. But back then, it's more like keeping it real was driving people. People was on that. You have to be real with it. And this is culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You represent the culture the right way. Sometimes we're not even worried about who's dope, who's nice with the rhymes, whatever, because you just there and you fit. You know, it became, you know, that's who was leading the culture at the time, kind of set the tone for everybody. And, you know, everybody did well. Now the industry don't look at it as doing well because they got different expectations. But for us,
be quiet over there, man. I know you're about to say something deep.
That's why I ain't even asking them yet. Because once it gets to talking, I'm all ears. I be like,
it's not that I think it's deep.
I'll be like this.
I'm kind of paying attention to what, because when it comes to rap, I have a perspective on rap that rapping and MCing. All right, so a lot of the MCs that we love, like you know, a lot of MCs that we love, grew to be MCs. There's not one MC that didn't talk about themselves at some point, right? Not one. They all talk about themselves, even me, right?
Mm-hmm.
They grew. Some of them grew, not all of them, but some of them grew to be the MC that talks about that's community based, right? And some of them are successful and some of them are not as successful. What that means is Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
When he first came out, course, he's talking about himself because he's trying to get his money. He's trying to get out the hood. You know what I mean? He's from Brompton, whatever. You know what I mean? He's trying to, you know, be successful. He got under Dre, and a lot of his music was like, you know, I'm trying to get the fuck out of it. You know. Then, as he grew, he got more politically based, more spiritually based, more, you know what I'm saying? Community. You know what I'm saying? Even with this battle with him and Drake, he still kept it more community based with the shit that he was saying, especially on the third verse of Not Like Us, when he said something about back in the days they had us in chains, and you know what I'm saying? It's the stuff that he was doing, saying, it kind of reminds me of what Ether, the third verse of Ether, when Nas was like, y'all niggas deal with emotions like bitches. As sad as I love you because you're my brother, you traded your soul for riches. My child, I watch you grow up to be famous, and now I'm smiling as a proud dad watching his only son that made it. You seem to be only concerned with dissing women. Were you confused as a child, scared to smile? They called you ugly. Well, life is harsh. Hug me. Don't reject me. Make records to disrespect me.
Blatantly and directly.
In 88, you was getting chased in your building. Like the shit that he was saying, and the reason why I'm saying this is like, Nas was always an MC when he came out, but he was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? Jay was always an MC, but he was a drug dealer. And an intelligent one as well. Like the way that he was saying shit, especially if you look at Politics as Usual and 22 Twos. What was the other shit after the song after 22 Twos? Friend of Foe. Like the way that he kind of put his rhymes together. I think that
was brilliant.
Yeah, the way he put it together was like, I've seen, like I said, they had to battle. Those two had to battle because they probably have two of the most creative albums ever made. And they're not the only two that had creative albums, but and for the time when you talk about Illmatic, it was just a dope ass album. I think Illmatic was just a dope ass album. You know what I'm saying? I think he was more creative on Stillmatic. And the reason why I say that is because Stillmatic had Rewind. And he's the only MC to do that well. You know what I'm saying? Where he did Rewind, where he talked about a story backwards, where you actually had to listen to the shit and then think forward. When you listen to the record, you had to think about what he was doing, and then you had to think about the story forward after the song was done. You see what I'm saying? So that's the, like, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about as far as rappers and MCs and lyricism. And I think that all of these guys, like, there's a special breed of artists that are MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were probably always MCs. Nas, most of Wu-Tang, Tupac, Biggie, Jay. And then you get into J. Cole to me was always an MC. Then you have rappers that are real good.
I look at J. Cole as a lyricist.
So, see, if you look at J. Cole as a lyricist, you gotta look at Nas as a lyricist.
Oh yeah, some people got three of embody all three. Sometimes.
Yeah, there's people that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's special breed of MCs that take it to this level where their bars are like just here. You know what I'm saying? And then there's artists that are rappers that grew to be MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like, David Banner grew to be an MC that knew how to talk to communities. He's not the best rapper though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. By far. Like, when we all, and I'm not just crediting, because I love David Banner as a community activist and even as a musician. You know what I'm saying? But he's not the best. Like, if you was to put him next to Pac, it doesn't match up. You know what I'm saying? You know, Pac is a fucking workhorse in the studio. You know what I'm saying? You put him next to Nas, no, you can't do that. But he has his lane where he exemplifies being an MC because he is dealing with community now. He's dealing with like black issues, and because he's trying to make his mark as an activist. He has to step into MCing instead of just rapping. Like, as opposed to like an example, you made an example of Nelly. Nelly was limited. You know what I'm saying? Because he was talking about himself. And I think that a lot of that was one of the big reasons why Karis One and him had an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because not because of him doing for himself, saying things about himself, or it was what he said on the song "I'm Number One."
Right.
On the third verse, where he said, "I'm tired of people saying what's real hip hop. Most of the artists whose album flops." He said that, and he was directed. It was really directed.
I took offense to that.
Yeah, because
it not like you're talking to me, but it's like
he was talking about you, Saudi.
It was a shot at a lot of people that I respect so well. Because at the time, now it's like we celebrate a lot of the people. You know, we celebrate the Kanes and the Rakim and all that. But at that time, a lot of those MCs that we knew, that we respect so much, was not getting like the relevance that they should get. And a lot of people talk about he fell off. That was the word out there. Oh, so-and-so fell off. He fell off. Like, you can't even talk about your favorite MC without somebody be like, man, he fell off. Then you get into it with this person. So him saying that, you know, album flop, I've been like, so the industry try to push one thing and you don't fit what they try to push, so they shelve you.
Well, let's examine this MC thing.
Man.
Let's examine this real quick. So, my phone. Let me turn the camera back on. So, now Nas is my top 5. He's in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. However, I never seen him live.
Oh, I have.
I also heard his performance is not that great.
It depends on what time you're talking about.
Okay.
Because in the 90s, no, his performance wasn't that great. He used to get drunk and he, you know, he had a bunch of dudes on stage and
yeah, like, right.
He doesn't do that now. So now, yeah, he's a dope performer. I want to say, you know, you grow and this is what I mean by a lot of people that grow as an MC. I think Nas, he does get by because he got a lot of hits. You know, I'm like with him, he had that issue where I got a lot of hits, so it ain't gonna matter. I got people, you know what I'm saying? Like just like, who was a freaking terrible performer? You know who was a terrible performer, honestly, and I seen them perform live, was 50. 50 terrible performer.
Yeah, I also think Rakim's a terrible performer.
Rakim is a boring performer. In the sense,
Rakim is like
all due respect to the God MC.
I love Rakim. Rakim is on my top 3 MCs, but like to me, if I went to, this is why I say Rakim is a boring performer. I didn't say he's a terrible one. I think he rapped his ass off, but that's all he does is rap his ass off. He stays in one place and but like,
walks back, yeah,
but like for instance, I went to a show where it was Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick. Everybody I loved performed except for Rakim. Only reason why I loved Rakim performing is because I knew all his fucking songs. So the songs that he was performing, he did all the old shit. He did, Microphone Feed was my favorite Rakim song. I Ain't No Joke. He did Pay the Fool. He did he even did what's the joint? The 18th Letter joint. Right? He did that shit. I knew all of that stuff, right? He did Follow the Leader. He did fucking Mahogany. My Melody is one of my favorite joints. And he did
Casualties of War. Did he do Casualties of War?
He did Casualties of War. He did all the hits.
So he did all of his joints.
He did all his. So people was rocking with it because he did the hits. But in comparison to
then again, that's what he's there for.
Exactly.
Like this is hip hop. Not everybody. We're not supposed to all be into the same things. But it's culture.
But here's the point, right?
In comparison,
Nas, right, did the same shit that Rakim was doing.
Right.
He's gonna perform Hate Me Now. He's gonna perform friggin' Nas is Like. He's gonna perform friggin' New York State of Mind. He's gonna perform this Who's What, and he was staying in one fucking place. And then you find out that they're from the same camp, kind of, as far as production and all that. You know what I'm saying? Rakim, he used to, when Roxanne Shante used to endorse, and Nas used to go to the same studios as these people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So then you kind of adapt the same as your legends. You see what I'm saying? Like for instance, I'm a big Wu-Tang fan. Them motherfuckers can perform their ass off. Mm-hmm. But that's why I perform the way I perform. Because my favorite rapper on Wu-Tang at the time when I was rapping was Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So Method Man walk on people. I'm not doing that shit. But Method Man walk on people. You know what I'm saying? So like ODB is one of my favorite performers. He's a wild dude. You know what I'm saying?
He's all over the place.
Yeah, so for me, that energy of those 9 members and how they performed and how they went on stage, that's how I attack my music. You know what I'm saying? But then my favorite lyricist is Nas. My favorite all-time performer is actually my top 6, and that's Busta Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Because Busta Rhymes gives
Busta Rhymes live himself.
Yeah, he gives you a show. Like he's gonna come up there and give you a show. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite, like him, and that's 90s, right? The greatest performers I've seen between, and I always fucking wrestle with these two, is Dougie Fresh and fucking Big Daddy Kane. And the reason
those are 2 good ones. But Dougie, man.
I've never seen a person other than Dougie Fresh rock a crowd and not rap at all. He did a show where he was just beatboxing and the crowd was in like I'm talking about like even me. I'm sitting there like, you know, like Michael Jackson was there, like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Right?
Dougie puts on a show.
Yeah, Dougie. If you're a rapper, right, and you don't have to rap, and you rock a crowd, you are more than an MC. You're on some other shit. Like that dude is on the cosmos with that shit. Because, and the reason why I say Kane is 50 something, he almost 60. And
but he always rocked the crowd though. Kane, another one.
He's still doing the warming up
show,
Kane.
Man.
He's still doing the warming up Kane, jumping over dudes from the head. You know what I'm saying? Doing that shit. I'm sitting there like, yo, like that's just like next level. You know, and that's why I would never put anybody over the Big Daddy Kanes and the Dougie Freshes and the KRS Ones and the what's his name and like those guys.
Mm-hmm. I would say Rakim. Because that's the only person. Like, you know, certain things I be telling, like I say certain things only work for certain people. Like the calm and collect, deep thought rhyming. It really only works for Rakim. Like if you're not Rakim, if you're gonna try that, you gotta think twice. Because it works for him. Mm-hmm. It works for him. Like I like him because of that. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, everybody will try to do that, but you are not Rakim. Be careful. It might not
go right. That's why you shouldn't be biting.
Yeah, but his style is just, you know, it works for him.
MCing though, I think we gotta also remember, because our era, we weren't around for the stage performances, the park jams, where the MC was born. You're on stage in front of people, or the stage wasn't really a pedestal. It was just a platform, a space with the mic cord, and you're around the people, and you had to really have the people's attention, control, and respect. What's that song? It was a song that a rock star made called Video Killed the Rock and Roll Star. Y'all remember what I'm talking about? Never mind. They were back in the 80s.
I almost remember that song. I just don't know who did it.
Video Killed the Rock and Roll Star, something like that. I can't remember the words. But that's a true song. Our era was the rap videos. Now, it's not that these cats weren't rocking shows and performing. I mean, hearing the stories about Latin Quarters, where Big Daddy Kane's and the Public Enemies and the BDPs all got their name from. You know, they had, and that was a hostile crowd. They had to rock that crowd.
Yeah, if you didn't, you got beat down.
Right. You know, one of the greatest comedians who I think should be considered a hip hop pioneer, me personally, Charles Barron. Okay, I'm not sure if y'all seen DC Cab.
Yes.
Okay, he's the brother with the curlers in his hair.
Oh, him?
Yeah. Charles Barron taught Dave Chappelle.
Oh wow.
He was like an OG to Dave Chappelle. what made him so great, and this is a lesson that anyone who wants to be an MC should take. He used to do his comedy in the middle of Central Park in New York. Like just go there and just start doing comedy. No stage, no permit. There's videos of him on YouTube, video clips of him being in Central Park, just making people laugh, cracking on people, talking, standing on the bench, and he got crowds of people in Central Park just listening to him and laughing. That's some MC stuff right there. However, and this might be in defense of Rakim, they put Charles Barron on Def Comedy Jam in the 90s.
Yep.
And the performance was terrible.
Yep.
And I think it was only terrible because he didn't really know how to be on. And if he did it, and if he was funny some other time, this one time I seen him, it was awful. He was overly nasty, overly vulgar, but I don't think he was used to being on a platform like that.
Oh yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it was very wild. But again, back to Rakim real quick. I think Rakim had the attention in the ciphers.
Yeah.
So if he's rapping in the cipher, standing around brothers and other MCs, and he's spitting that stuff, they're not gonna say Rakim was born. On stage, you're like, in the cipher?
It depends on what you're looking for, though, because if you think about it, like, he might be born on stage, but like you said, in the cipher, right?
That's an MC.
I mean,
then again, you see, like me, if Rakim is performing on stage, that's like my moment. Cause I'ma probably be just like that. I'll be just like that, probably standing there too, just vibe and listen, just like I listen to Rakim. Like the way I cruise, drive around, listen to Rakim, I'm chilling. I'll be up in that crowd, just chilling, just listening.
Right.
Don't bother me. Oh, you're chill, man. I'm listening.
That's what I'm saying.
Now that's my thing. Like so it might be boring, apparently, but that's actually my moment.
Well, it's not for certain people. You might want to hear, like, for example, I'm also a lecture guy. But when I go to a show, I want to go to a show. So if Rakim's giving a lecture, and at times I'm like, okay, I'm listening to what he's saying, But what I'm saying is, like the example I made about Charles Barron, is that his status is probably better in certain environments. Which is why he could be considered an MC. And I'm wondering if that is the same thing with Nas, because the original MCs literally were rocking the crowd.
Yeah.
And had control of the crowd. And they also did not make excuses for things going wrong. They would use it to their advantage. If the power went out, they rocking a cappella. They forget a rhyme, they freestyle. Or they're going to something else. Like you see a lot of these kids, here in the beam, things go wrong, they're cussing out the DJ, they're saying the equipment sucks, and they're blaming the promoter.
First of all, the equipment always sucked.
They're blaming the crowd, they're saying the crowd is whack.
But that's why I told these young dudes, the equipment always sucked. It's not no new shit. Like there's not new shit to the equipment. The equipment wasn't just good in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, 2010s, and then all of a sudden in 2025 the shit sucked. No.
I wish Cool Herc was here with his equipment.
The shit always sucked. I went to I want to say I started performing in 1999. That's when I started performing my shit. The equipment always sucked. From the talent shows to the fucking, even the clubs, to the shit that, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, the best equipment that I use is the shit that we use now at the fucking, at the Vault. Or like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or like, because even the show that me and Sadi did in March, that equipment sucked. You know what I mean? This nigga put a fucking Bluetooth speaker on another speaker to play.
The cipher.
Yeah, the cipher. The equipment's up there. You know what I'm saying?
The thing about it is like, one thing that molded some of us, get us out of that, always gonna make a moment out of like whatever from scratch. Make a moment. We was doing the subway cipher, and there was moments when the train comes by, it's louder than the little speakers we have. Some of us made it a point not to stop. It's still projected with the train coming, people getting off, and I'm still projecting. That's like a challenge for me. The beat is off. While whoever's just playing the beat, try to find the next beat. I'm on the platform in the subway. I said, "Hey, yo!" Everybody turn around. I say a few couple of, like the 4 bar I say to begin the verse. I won't rap it. I say it because it's rare written. It gets people attention. Then I go in with the rest of the verse. So you know what I mean? You're projected throughout the platform. Like, then from doing that, I done that in a couple of rooms. It'd be like places, like just people around. I said, "Hey, yo," throw a rhyme out there. Get everybody attention. They keep going.
MC stuff.
You know what I'm saying? And it became one thing I just picked up on. That I do acapellas with no microphones. And I don't have the biggest voice. I deem myself as having a small voice among everybody. Everybody got the bass. I don't have that. But when I project, it goes.
Master of ceremony.
I remember the damn show and the fucking music just cut off. I was in the middle of my shit. The music just cut off. I still kept going. I didn't even know the music cut off. That's how much I was into my shit. I didn't even know the music cut off. You know what I'm saying? And I sat there and I was fucking spitting and shit, and I was spitting and niggas. I noticed that people was looking at me like, "Yo, this dude's still going." And I kept going because in my mind I heard the music. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept going and shit, going and going and going. And then when I realized when I stopped that, you know what I'm saying, when the shit was over for me, everybody was like, "Yo, like, how the hell did you do that?" Because there was no music. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the no music, that's actually, for us, the no music, that's like, we do acapellas all the time.
Because the thing is, you do acapellas all the time, but you learn your shit to the point where you don't even have to rap on the same beat. So like you can switch it, like, you know how like you go to a show and you can switch it up. Like Ghostface does this a lot, where he'll do the original joint and then the DJ will cut it into a different beat, but he's rapping the same song.
Right.
You know? Like that, like that's MC shit. That's when we was doing mixtapes and you go in there and the DJ's just cutting records and you just still going. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that element. And what happens is like a lot of these artists are missing that lost art of just a cappella rhyming. Like the battle rappers are even too formatted. You know what I'm saying? Because the battle
now it is too, but when they're beginning, it was just as raw. Like when Mook and Loaded Locks did that at it was Murder Mook and Loaded Locks at some was that like a clothing store?
Yeah, that was back in early 2000s.
Yeah, that actually inspired me a lot because I'm from the spoken word environment with my rhymes, so I done a lot of acapellas like that. So them battling with no beats like that, I was like, this is me right here. This is what we do.
There's nothing wrong with that. So and a lot of other artists are not that. So like when you're talking about, like, there's very few battle artists that actually like can hold that down and still like Loaded Lux, he can actually do music if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
no, he got records.
Yeah, so like those guys can step into both. Like, but certain guys can't. Certain guys, they just, they used to doing that battle shit and they can't project outside of the battle. You know what I'm saying?
Then again, for most of the battle rappers that we seen them getting like doing the thing. When it comes to killing the beat, they actually overkills the beat. Like they're probably one of the dopest people on record.
Mm-hmm.
That I heard like you would name them, the Two Surf. Who else? As like what is his name? Dot Mob. It's with Dot Mob. What's his name again? He used to be in the camp with Murder Mook. T-Rex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I heard those dudes on records, like on beat. They actually very consistently dope on beats. Like a lot of them, the battle raps on beat, that was actually crazy. So then again, you got the stigma of battle rappers they can make songs. That's bullshit. Because you know what? That's the producer's job.
See, a battle rapper can't make a song is the producer's issue. You know what I mean?
It's not the rapper. Because what I do, I spit the same 16 I kill somebody with. You're gonna take that 16 and you're gonna arrange it, put it in the beat. And you know what I mean? Whatever effects you gotta put to the voice, the frequency, you're gonna compress whatever. That's the producer's job. Find the hook.
The producer doesn't really make the producer helps him with the song, but if he's making a song, that's the artist's job and the producer's.
Well, the thing there was really nothing as
so the producer is not like. There's a difference between a producer and a beat maker. Certain people are beat makers.
Right.
Producers are the ones that organize and make sure that the song. So the artist can be the producer, and I always recommend that artists do be the producer. Like me, I'm a producer as well as an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, if you're an artist, right, you're gonna need that kind of don't know how to do songs. You're gonna need the producer. Like Dr. Dre is a kind of a hands-on producer. RZA's a hands-on producer. DJ Premier's a hands-on producer, right? That also touches the boards. So they're the ones that know, you know what I mean? So, but then there's people that just make beats. You know what I'm saying? And like if it's an artist, like Harley Clips, Loaded Lux, they need producers to help them structure song-ready material. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we don't know if they're actually producers as well. I don't know that.
I think Loaded Lux produces his own shit, like as far as like actually arranges the record, stuff like that. A lot of artists do that because they know how they want to sound, as opposed to like somebody like, matter of fact, here's an example. Game, right? Mm-hmm. He said he never knew how to write songs until Dr. Dre structured how he did songs. He just rapped the shit. Like, he know how to rap. He'll give you like 32 bars, 100 bars. He'll give you all that shit, but he didn't know how to put 16s and 8-bar hooks until Dr. Dre structured them. That's a producer. That's so yeah, it is an artist's job, but some artists don't know, so they need that extra set of ears. You know what I'm saying? And that producer is the like extra set of ears. Like for example, I give you an example with me. My records, I produce all of my records as far as like how I want to sound, but Genius is he's the extra set of ears too. So like a lot of times when he's making a beat, like let's say I'm in his studio, he's giving me certain things that I can use on the song right then and there. If I'm recording right here, I'm just pulling my producer shit out because I'm here. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not dependent on the engineer because I'm the engineer as well. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm in his studio, he's giving me certain shit that, you know what I mean? And even when like the song that I did, because of my mom, I just released a song dedicated to my mother. I just released it on the 30th, which is her birthday, right? I released the song without his voice on it. And then now he put his voice on it. So now I released that one. And he added some things. As a producer's mind, he knew where to put shit. He knew where to like, knowing, like some people don't have that. Some singers actually don't know how to do hooks for rappers, but he does. You know what I'm saying? Some singers are just like, you need to help them. Sometimes rappers need to write hooks for singers, which I've done before. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, so it like that producer mind is not necessarily like Puffy gets producer credit for all that shit that Biggie did, right? Even though Easy Mo Beats was the one making most of the beats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but he gets the credit for it because he's the one that arranged how it's going to sound on the radio. You know?
Actually, I thought he was the executive producer.
He was the producer too, because so he pays these guys. Because what was that? He had a producer team. After he dealt with Biggie and Biggie died and all that other stuff, he had a producer team that makes the beats for him to get credit for the producer. He pays them. You know what I'm saying? So yes, he's the executive as well because he's the head producer as well. So executive producer, all they do is pretty much oversee the project. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever see like a movie and it says directed by fucking Steven Spielberg, but then it'll say executive producer John Williams, the same dude that Star Wars fucking thing. Like, so it was like John Williams is the one that made sure all the music was was done, and the director and the producer come together, and then they get that equal credit. So Puffy, he got the credit for being the executive, but he also took that producer credit, which means he paid this guy to take credit for the fucking beat and shit. You know what I mean? Because he was employed under him. It's kind of like we work for different companies. Who are they going to credit? Your manager, not you.
Because really, what the producer, like an executive producer, is doing is we can put it as simple as this. I got this singer, right? And I get on the phone. I'm like, hey, yo, my man that plays the drums. Yo, what up, yo? You think I can book a session with you, man? All right, bet. I booked the drummer. I booked the bass. I booked the dude on the keyboard. I booked a singer. I booked a studio. They meet over there. I'd be like, yo, I want a record to sound like this. I want the bass line to do this. I want the drummer to do this. And so keyboard and the singer, I want y'all to work together. And hold on. Get on the phone. Hey, yo, my man, you got some songs? Oh, yeah, my man writes songs. I think this is a perfect song right here. I want you to practice this with the keyboard. And y'all get up in the studio with the drummer and the bass and make this record happen. That's executive producer. I might not have to touch anything, but I'm putting it together.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It's just like instead of getting the drummer and the bass, I'll go get DJ Premier or P-Rock.
But the executive producer's also coaching the artist or arranging how the artist says the shit. So he might buy some writers. Right? If the artist like Drake has producers because Drake doesn't. He's known. I'm not saying he doesn't. He's known for not writing his shit. So now the producer has to make sure.
Yeah, it's known for that.
He's known for that. I don't know how true it is.
We don't know.
But because I've seen him, I've seen him a couple of times go on his phone and was spitting on the radio. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean he doesn't. I think he writes his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's someone texted him. Yo, spit this.
Well,
the problem with those allegations about rappers not writing their own shit. This is what happens. You write bars. You a bar after bar after bar after bar. Then you just say you got to make a song. You got your 16th. You trim it to a 16. Now you need a hook. Somebody comes and write that hook for you. Because you don't write hooks. You write bars. And guess what? You might be like, okay, your bar, we need to make it a story. So somebody work with you now. Change this, put this first, then put that. Then they work with you and pen a few words in there. Then somebody come through, oh my God, that's so-and-so, you're my favorite rapper. But when they walked into you was out there sitting with somebody penning this shit around. Before you know it, you go there be like he was there with his ghostwriter. Well, you don't know what's going on. You just seen somebody penning some shit for these rapper and go spread them. Oh, he has ghostwriters. Yeah, sometimes you're the dopest rapper, but if you want to put out like a $1 billion record out there, you might need ghostwriters to write some shit that you don't normally write.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with that in that profession. It's like, you know, ain't like, if, for instance, right? If you say you're the greatest, of course, you gotta write a majority of your shit. I do believe that. Like, if you're saying that you're the greatest of all time, or you telling yourself that you're the GOAT in your rhymes, or you're telling yourself that you're a beast, yes, you gotta write most of your shit. You know what I'm saying? A good amount of your shit. You don't have to write all. You don't have to write all of your shit though. Like, you
gotta write the shit that you write. You gotta be the best of what you write.
Write the best of what you write, but if you're making a hit, you ain't got to write none of that shit, honestly. Like, if like, and I say that because there was a story about, remember when Nas came out with the Untitled album? Yeah, back in 2000. I remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the song that had NIG. It had the niggas. That's what he was gonna call it, nigger, but they made it to Untitled.
And
he did the song Hero. That's the song that was on there. He did the song Hero with Kerry Hilson, and he did Black President, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a song on there called Sly Fox. One of my favorite songs on there, Sly Fox. He wrote the verses, and he got help with the hook from what's the dude? Dead Prez, the second dude that was on hip hop in Dead Prez. Speaking of hip hop, I forgot his name.
M1. The Stickman or M1?
Stickman, I think it was.
The one from No Car.
Second versus.
Who shot Biggie Smalls? If we don't get them, they gonna get us all him.
That's M1.
That's Stickman.
Yeah, Stick.
Yeah, he helped him.
Oh, you know what? I can't tell.
I think Stickman though. He wrote some of the chorus. He helped with some of the hook and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? To make that song what it is. People was trying to say, oh, Nas had a ghostwriter. Stickman wrote that song. Stickman, he said, yo, I didn't write the whole song. We gave him some ideas and I helped write the hook. And he's like, let's be honest. Does that discredit the legend that this man is? You know what I'm saying?
No.
I was like, Nas came out fucking like in 1991. Before you heard my song, It's Bigger Than Hip Hop. He was a legend. He was a legend then, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So does that discredit because I helped him with a hook? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was mad at that shit because it's black people that saying this shit. And you know, Stickman and M1, those dudes are on some black power. We should be supporting
RBG all day.
They're Garveyites, pretty much.
That kind of I feel the same way about people that likes to discredit anything. Like, to me, it's just an anti-movement thing. It's an anti-hip-hop thing. There's an anti-KRS one thing that runs around. There's an anti-Nas thing that runs around. Anti-conscious rap, if we may say that. Like, there's an people that just dare to attack anything that has some positive in it.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that we want to find Nas, you know what I mean, slip somewhere so we can go in. You know what I mean?
It's sickening because social media started to really pick up around that time too. So that's where, like, now everybody has a damn voice to talk about some shit that they really like for instance, like me, I get attacked on social media like crazy. That's why I be sitting there, like, I be going off a lot of times about not just hip hop, but just life, period. People just don't like what you got to say. So when it comes to rap, right? Anything that a rapper says is on notice. Anything that a rapper says is on, like, it doesn't matter what type of rapper it is, but especially the lyricists, the MCs, because they want to discredit the MCs who really should be leading the front in rap music. MCs should be leading the front in rapping. It's a period. That's just the way it is. And the reason why, because those are the GOATs. Those are the guys that paved the way for the rappers that are not necessarily as great, but they are in the game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you have to be like them. I'm saying you have to respect what these guys did. You got to respect what Coke La Rock did, all the way to what Sha Rock did, all the way to what some of the Lil Waynes did. Even though we can go back and forth about the content now, that's a different story because I don't agree with a lot of content that's out. You know what I'm saying? but that's because I'm 45. I'm about to be 46 in 2 weeks, right? I've grown to see that a lot of that stuff is detrimental to your mind. So the reason why I put certain material out, you know what I'm saying, is because I know how detrimental words are in music, especially in music. Like, I can give a speech and you don't listen to the shit I'm saying. I'm just talking to you, right? But if I put it in a rap song and I tell you to shoot like 10 niggas, you know what I'm saying? You might do that shit. You know what I mean? You might go, you know, if I tell you it's okay, and the funny thing is, a lot of that music that I was listening to that I like, I can't really listen to it, even though it's talented sound, right? Like Dr. Dre's song. He has a song that I used to bump that my mother hated. Rest in peace to my mom. She used to hate that song. You know what I mean?
Used to be a puddle.
Yeah, she was gonna break my shit. I remember she'd come in and be like, "Yo, keep playing that song, I'm gonna break the tape." She'd tell me that joint because she used to snap my NWA tapes. You know what I mean? Because I'm always playing the shit that she didn't like. You know what I'm saying? So she said, "Yo," and there was a song called "Nigga with a Gun." She hated that same song. You know what I mean? Like me, I love that shit, being rebellious. And I think I only liked it because she didn't like it. So I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? So she'd be like, "Yo, you keep playing that damn record," and she knew I was doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Me being stupid, you know what I mean? So I'd be like, "Yo," but that's how, like, another note, kids. Hip hop is rebellious, but you got to watch your rebellious shit because some of our parents will, like back then, our parents will break our shit. They'll break the shit right in front of us. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you know what I mean? So, like, I was playing it, and the shit said, what do you say? 44 reasons come to mind while another motherfucker's hard to find. What do you say?
What album was it again?
Chronic, the first one.
Oh,
it was a B-side. This dude said like he was like, and then like the whole song is about killing one dude and shit. I want to be honest with you, the whole song is about killing one dude that he had a problem with, and he's like, the chorus is like, "Who's the man with the master plan? A nigga with a motherfucking gun." Right? That's the chorus. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
And my mother hated that shit. Like I'll tell you right now, I remember I was playing that shit and I was bumping it because, you know, back then I was bumping that shit. It was 91. I'm in the crib. I'm playing the shit. I bought the record to play it on my mother's record player. Right? And my mother said, "If you don't take that shit off my record player, right, I'm gonna toss that shit up." So I take the shit off.
Get that crap off my record player.
Yo, because she had a record player back then. You know what I'm saying? So, like, now I can't really listen to that song. And I got the album in my phone. You know what I mean? So it's like, and the reason why is because I started to understand why she hates that record. You know what I'm saying?
She did what she had to do.
Yeah,
but that's what you gotta do. Like, you're not gonna stop the kids from listening what to listen to, but you gotta put in your 2 cents. They'll get it one day.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was like,
they get it.
How was I? 91. I was 12. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So she was like, "You shouldn't be listening to this shit, but I'm not gonna stop you because every time I give you allowance money, you buy this shit. So okay, stop playing this shit." You know what I'm saying, on my radio. That was her thing. Like, because I remember the time she broke my NWA tape and I kept buying it. I thought I broke that tape. You didn't break this one, it's new. You know what I'm saying? So she said, so she's like, "Listen, I can't stop you from buying that shit, but don't play that shit on my radio." You know what I'm saying? That was her request. She's like, "You're gonna go buy this shit anyway." You know what I'm saying? You probably got 2. You know what I'm saying? Which I did. I had like 3 of them. So she broke one. I had
the backups.
Yeah, I had backups.
You had a backup copy.
Yeah. My mother used to break my shit. I remember like, my mother, like, I want to say like, she broke like 10 of my joints, man. She broke NWA, the first 2 joints, 100 Miles and Running, and that one. She broke Ice Cube's joint, Death Certificate, because I was playing No Vaseline. You know what I'm saying? She broke fucking Wu-Tang shit. You know what I mean? Because the first song, "Bring the motherfucking ruckus," she's like, "Crack." She cracked. So she stopped.
Oh, I can only imagine what she would have done to Onyx joint.
Oh shit! I had Onyx. I just didn't play.
Back, motherfucker!
Yo, that.
Back the fuck up. Back the fuck up.
Yep.
She would have just put that on
me and just and she would have been like, "Ha ha," you know what I'm saying? And she make sure she do it in front of me. You know what I'm saying? She'd do that shit like so it's like, you know, but she stopped breaking them because I told her I ain't gonna play it on your radio. I was like, I ain't gonna play it on your radio. I was lying, I just gonna play it when she did. know what I'm saying? Because you had the good sound. She had the fucking speakers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, my shit, I had a little...
The surround sound shit.
Yeah, she had the surround sound. You know, the old school speakers that had all that shit. So you had, like, the bass thing, and then you had another thing that controlled the sound, and then you had the record player right there. And I
hooked up our TV to our surround system, so I'm on Rap City surround system around the house. I'm going there.
So I'm telling you, like those records, I really can't play because of where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 4 years from 50. You know, and I'm like, it's different for me. So I understand what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? She was just trying to protect my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because if like I said before, if I tell you on the record it's okay to shoot niggas, right? Which people are doing now. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to shoot niggas.
It's all right. You can shoot niggas.
Most likely, you're gonna go and shoot niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
with no accountability.
Yeah. Because think about it.
At least if somebody told you, it's not all good, you be doing it with a little bit of accountability. Like, I'm fucking up right now, but not to the point that, you don't see nothing wrong with it. This is what we've been doing.
Remember that show we did in Jungle?
Yeah.
This is after my mother passed, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So, like, why is Seth calling me? Seth gotta wait.
Oh. Hello.
Yeah, he'll be back. But yeah, I remember those days. I remember my mother took all my tapes. She heard me listening to the Ghetto Boys, and that was it. I came back from school. All my joints was gone.
Yeah, that was crazy.
My drawers were... I was like, yo, what what's going on? My Above the Law, Ghetto Boys.
My thing was, you'll mess around and play the wrong song, and that cuss word comes on, hoping nobody hears. The next thing you know, I turns around and look. Be like, turn that off. I'm like, give me that tape. I'm like...
Yeah. Shout out to Seth Chaos for disturbing me.
Seth Chaos, shout out.
Big up to Seth Chaos.
Yeah,
BEYONDERZ in the house.
That's among the only producers I was able to complete a project with.
That's it?
Oh yeah, like I think you know what? My first project, I actually was probably 3 different producers that worked on it. I started with Dan Fox. I did a lot of songs with him. Then one day I just gathered whatever we had, and I was like, I gotta record more songs. And I went to my man. Who I went to? I went to C-Look. I went to C-Look and he quit rapping. He's also more like, I'm not doing this no more. And I talked to him. I was like, okay, I know you're not doing this no more, but I just need you to record me for these few tracks, because I try to wrap up too. Because at that time, I feel like I was done too. I was like, I just want to close up this chapter and put it. So he helped me with that. So
was you turning 30?
At the time, I was turning,
Most people do that when they turn 30. They
I was
old and da-da-da-da. I put my first official album out at 29, my second album out at 30. And the reason why, because I didn't want to be like, because most of my friends that stopped rapping, 30. They was like, yo.
I was 29 at the time.
Yeah. But
I was 29.
I think that's a common thing with rappers that feel like they haven't, like, they don't want to do it no more. It's like 30, some say 50. You know what I'm saying? I've always seen that the common, if you rap a little bit longer, it's usually that 30, 40, or 50 mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you continue to go, you kind of reach that. Sometimes you feel like you reach that because you feel like you're too old to do it. But I always noticed that it's like 30. Like most dudes, like they were like, yo, I stopped. Because see, you're an MC that has a wide range of things to say. So you're not, you wasn't gonna stop at 30. You know what I'm saying? You might felt like that. It was a phase. Yeah. But some people actually can't say shit past 30. You know what I'm saying? Like some
yeah, and like everything else is not rap no more. They might start doing something different. They might just stop producing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But they
like Kwame.
Yeah, like 30 was that cutoff because they feel like they're too old. But now MCs are fucking killing it older.
So you see, you know what happened with me though, right? What really happened is when I feel like I ain't feel like rapping no more. So people, I was vocal about it. I'd be like, yo, I don't know, man. I'm not really with that. And I was saying I'm through with entertainment. That's what I was saying. I'm not doing entertainment no more. So they would ask me why. And I start talking. And really me talking, it became the rhymes that I started writing from that. Like all my catalog started from that. Cause that's when I wrote what goes on, the dirt under the rug, the drugs, the thugs, the bust slugs. My dog thought I bugged out when I spoke about God. Blocks on life by young bucks with Glocks around the clock scrambling. Over big box, cock and Glocks and rock handling. Legalized gambling, legalized alcohol beverages. Surprised they legalized weed before same-sex marriages. 1 day a week of holiness versus 6 days of savages. You know the half? You do the math and tell me what the average is. The world going crazy, cracking clone babies, self-proclaimed grown babies roaming with chrome 380s. Got cash, driving them crazies. Fast life, not driving Miss Daisy. Lazies won't speak unless you're driving Mercedes. Babies raising babies, lately's praising Jay-Z. Having hard time figuring there is a man bigger than Jacob, man, beginning with Genesis. Adam with Eve, and who's the matter with Eve? Hey, yo, my man, I believe I just saw Adam with Steve. Judgment, the time is up. Knowing the word is blinded by Christ, trying to find them, not the platinum piece of Jesus laced up with diamond cuts. I fight demons, lust for women and race. What I said, I heard the pastor screaming, but I told him not to wake me. I'm dreaming, hoping one day we all come to an agreement to stop making music that are just painkillers. We need treatment. You know what I mean? I mean what I'm saying. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I mean, which means I'm not playing. And that rhyme, actually, that's how I really felt. Everything I say in that rhyme, I was really like, few people kind of kept a distance away from me because I was kind of angry. And my man Soch, that was like, we was the duo. His started like 2 years prior to me. He was on that, I'm through, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm down with this shit. Probably, yeah, he probably was a year older than me, I think. We were same age. So his shit was like a year before me was on that, I'm done rapping. And next year, I was in the same shit, but he was just finished. And he kind of, I don't know, we never talked about rap no more. But yeah, so I felt like that. Like a lot of this shit was just like, yo, this shit needs to change. This shit is looking stupid. This shit stopped making sense. This shit, like, how the fuck y'all not seeing what I'm seeing? Like, yeah, that's how I was feeling. And guess what? Everything I wrote was kind of, that became like the format of everything I wrote ever since.
Yeah.
And I became that kind of MC. That was the topics, and that's it till today. But prior to that, I was comfortable doing rough, rugged. I'm timid in boots on 4 season. In my 90 degrees and my 20 below freezing. I slap a whack rapper with no reason. No reason. It was fun rap. Rough, rugged, jiggy, my style beat the bum thingy. Why you want to test this when you're ready to die like Biggie? I don't give a wiggy one if you're hot. I be the hot one. My man's hot too, but not you. Nigga, I knock you. I got a few beats. I'm rocking to sleep. That's what I was doing. But yo, after that mark, like 28 years old, whatever.
So after that mark, I mean, we all go through those phases.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, as an MC, I mean, you're never gonna let it go. I can tell you that.
That's one thing. Like, if the commitment to the culture, like when I feel like I don't want to rap no more, and part of me feel like, no, you gotta do, there's something you need to do. maybe you don't feel like rapping, but yeah, whatever you're gonna do is still gonna be lyricism. It's still gonna be wordsmithing. It's still gonna be music, probably, but it's not gonna be as empty. It's gonna be a lot more than the purpose is. If there is no purpose to it, you probably just won't do it. So if I'm making music when I ain't saying shit, I'm not interested.
Well, that's, it's hard to be a lyricist and not say shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because one, you don't want to be that guy to not say shit. But you want to be in that category. That's the wrong category for someone that has.
So what happens is the minute you feel like you ain't saying shit, that's when you feel like you want to quit.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling like, yo, all these shit, I ain't said not one thing about it, man. And you sit there looking like, because some people topics depresses them. So the music that you really want to make kind of like it kind of depresses you. So you don't want to do it. Me is more like I deal with issues until like now I got the understanding of it. Now I can play around and make rhymes about it. On some more like I'm kind of out of love, I'm sharing my experience with people. Like, oh yeah, I've been there too. I thought about that too. And then now I can put it in rhymes. But when I'm thinking about it when it's raw, oh no, that's not rhyming. That's just a conversation.
I mean, to me, like when you've mastered a level of rhyming, it all becomes a conversation. It all becomes like in the sense of like when you've mastered a level of like putting your rhymes to a subject matter. That's all conversation. That's all it is. Okay? Like it's not even like. You're not even, at this point, you're not even playing. You're just like, all right, this shit right here is easy. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where it's like, it's easy, but it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you this shit. I'm gonna give it to you my way. But you gonna, you ain't gonna really, you might understand it, you might not. But I understand what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I think a lot of MCs or a lot of rappers don't really understand what it is to be themselves. And I think with that, like the stuff that you was like the stuff that you was going through probably was you realizing that you had to find a different direction of self. Because that's what older MCs do. I mean, when you get older, you get more mature. And when you get more mature, you become not just a better person as an older person, but you become a better MC as well, because MCing is life. Right?
Not to mention the transition.
Yeah,
which is it could be a painful, experience. Being like, I love doing this, but my conscience really telling me that no, this is not the way. Yeah. It's just like it's like breaking up with a foul partner. A woman in your life that this is not good, like you gotta let it go, but you like, damn, the bond is there, but I gotta let it go. It hurts.
Yeah, that's the Stockholm syndrome right there.
Yeah, the idea of like people fuck around, be like, oh, give up. Oh, I'm gonna stop. I'm done with this hip hop shit. Like I'm gonna quit rapping, quit hip hop, cause spiritual reasons. That shit kind of fries me. I'd be like, yo, no more hip hop. Like, cause I'd be like, don't get me to a point where I have to be like, no more hip hop for me, cause some spiritual level shit. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
don't tell me that. That shit whack.
You have to convert your hip hop.
Right. Some people don't see it like that though.
No, because they figure like I said before, some people don't have nothing to say.
And I mean, I'm talking about people that, let's say, as we embrace hip hop as the culture, some people understood hip hop as being the industry.
Yeah.
So once they run into things in the industry that's kind of foul, like it tells them like you need to get the fuck away from this. At the same time, this is what they know as hip hop. Then they just gonna rebuke the whole thing altogether. Before you know it, they're thinking rhyming is evil. As much as they love doing it, they feel like rhyming is evil because they're looking at hip hop as being. I just got this message that came through my email in front of the screen. My bad. I was like, what's that?
Oh, I must have missed that.
So some bread.
Well, that was a good conversation. We should continue talking about rap music, the MC element.
So I would like me. I look at it like I always separate the lyricist, the rapper, and the MC as three different tasks. You know what I mean? The MC, it takes it like you off the culture. You're a representative, and you represent that culture by your own essence about you. You an MC. A rapper, that's like you just fly with the words. Like, okay, how to talk fly. You ain't gotta necessarily say anything, but you just talk fly. That's rap. But a lyricist, that's you an actual scholar of the art of wordsmithing. Whether you want to be a poet, whether you want to be just a wordsmith that deals with rhymes and word structure and all that. So as far as the lyricist,
using all those big words like Keith Murray.
Yeah. You want to be a big, in big words, you know what I mean? Your vocabulary crazy. That's like a lyricist. You really specialize in words and expressions and all that. An MC represents a certain culture. In this case, it's hip hop. A rapper, it's the language of the streets. You know what I mean? The language of the people of that. And lyricism is just the study of the art of words. So I always look at them as three different people. Sometimes you embody three, sometimes you only two of the three, sometimes you only one of the three, sometimes you all three.
Yeah. Totally agree. A and B, got some final words?
I mean, I think that with rap, it's the voice of the culture. And I say it's the voice because it's the only form of vocalization that really expresses like it expresses like how we like feel, how we move, and how we grow. Whether you're a lyricist, whether you're just a rapper, or whether you're just or I feel like it expresses like it gives us a voice to express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves. We were kind of contained in a box before that. You know what I mean? And I think that rap allowed us to really express ourselves and grow, especially like if you're looking to be a lyricist, because a lot of rappers ain't looking to be a lyricist. You know what I mean? A lot of rappers are just looking to get, they're just due financially or whatever the case may be. But I think that it's the voice of our, of not just our generations, but generations after. And it allowed us to really kind of create a whole different lane of success and not just success, but expression. You know what I mean? And I'm all for it. I'm just for the growth too. So it needs to grow. You know what I mean? Like how I feel about rap now is different than how I feel about rap, felt about rap back then because I was younger, didn't have like a sense of responsibility on the level that I do now. So, but that comes with time, and it comes with students that want to learn,
That's it. Well, yeah, I definitely think that rappers should also have a responsibility to not only entertain but to edutain. Make sure they're teaching with the rhymes they're saying and represent the people. Yes, the rappers should thrive to become an MC. Rap is necessary because, come on, as men, we need that masculine energy, and rap provides that masculine energy. Man, a lot of people get mad because they, most of the time we focus only on the male rappers. It's not that we're focusing on the male rappers. The male rappers provide that energy that make rap what it is. Okay, sometimes the R&B, singing love songs all the time. Sometimes I don't feel like singing love songs. Sometimes I want to listen to that boom bap, original rap. Or sometimes I must rock the mic myself. So listen, for those of you out there listening, thank you for checking us out. We'll have more, and write some rhymes, y'all. Spit some rhymes. Do a cypher. Do a show. Do an open mic. Rock that mic. Don't be afraid. Speak your words, and someone will be inspired by what you do, what you speak, but make sure you keep a balance. Have fun with it. Don't make it all negative. We got to stop doing that. Make rap positive again. As well, and with Happy Rap Music Day. Thank you for listening to the Beyonders Building Podcast. I am your co-host, EGC Divine. We got Big Brother Sadi. We got African Man Born. Till next time, peace and beyond.